What is up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome to Apocaflix Now, our main show on Apocaflix movies, where we talk about movies, obviously, but we talk about
them now.
We talk about them now instantly. But basically, we talk about news on this show. We talk about trailers. We talk about things we've been watching lately. Obviously, we talk about TV as well. There's a lot of good TV that we talk about. We don't have a lot of topics today. We also talk about what we're looking forward to. We're gonna have a couple trailers to talk about, and we're gonna rank the Skywalker saga since we all have seen the Rise of Skywalker. But let's introduce the guys here today. I'm Jacob Bartley. This is Gio Ramos. That is Jake Berlin over there on the controls, putting his light up, and Brian Avalosino over there on the couch there. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
Talk some Skywalkers. I mean, we've been talking Skywalkers for like 4 days, but you know.
Star Wars,
yeah.
We're fine. Look, we're ranking our Skywalker saga. We've seen it. We saw it 2 days ago. This could easily change in the next day or two.
Oh, absolutely.
It could easily change. So this is just, and by the time this comes out, the list for us very.
That's funny. This is my #1 change.
So the way that this is, I kind of envision this for the channel. We're gonna do this for now, but eventually we talked about doing a ranking series.
Yeah.
I think the first thing we're ever going to do is rank the Skywalker saga officially. So,
or we could do the Star Wars movie. We need to do, because we're doing Skywalker saga for now.
Do Star Wars movies in general.
Yeah, but we can do Star Wars movies in general as well. So, yeah, all right. Well, let's jump into some trailers first, right? So we got a few trailers in our buy or sell segment. So, first up is the Top Gun Maverick trailer.
Bye.
My first time seeing it is in the theaters.
Dude, bye.
The sound is amazing. I buy it too, and I just watched Top Gun this year.
You're welcome.
Only a few months ago. It was like 3 or 4 months ago. And Top Gun is an awesome movie. I really like it, and this looks awesome. And I haven't seen a lot of Miles Teller lately.
Oh, you haven't?
I really like Miles Teller.
Dude,
as an actor.
he rocks an 80s mustache so well.
Yeah,
He's such a perfect.
yeah. So I buy it.
100%.
Sure.
This movie, I mean, look, Tom Cruise he's been on the bring around train about bringing his old movies back and kind of getting back into the fold with a bunch of stuff. He's wanted to do this one for a long time. You can tell he's very excited to do it. The thing that gets me is that he freakishly flew the plane himself. And look, there's footage out there that you can watch. They put 6 IMAX cameras in the cockpit of the jet for his reactions of everything.
Wow.
He physically flew the jet for the movie. It's the best movie ever. Best movie ever.
We talking about how we must see this on IMAX.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I feel like I'm literally gonna be like this when the planes go by in the IMAX.
That last shot of the trailer, by the way, where he's in like some super space jet thing and all that, like the stuff goes flying everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Pumps it and the guy's just standing there.
I love the story of it too. Like he's now the Top Gun trainer, obviously, and Miles Teller's playing Goose's son. And did you catch his pilot name, by the way?
I've been trying to. I can't.
It's Rooster.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Rooster, which is really cool.
That's cool.
And then you have a bunch of other young, talented actors in there who are playing these roles.
Well, they made the role for what's his face.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name. But it feels like Top Gun. It's so exciting.
It does. It really does.
And that music,
the score,
the
slowed down score.
Jennifer Connelly too as the girlfriend. I'm totally in for that.
Great.
I love her.
I'll say this right now: the funeral scene in the trailer. I'm gonna say it's Iceman.
We didn't see him in the trailer, right?
I was gonna say, like, we haven't seen a lot of it.
I'm gonna say it's Iceman.
He's in the movie though,
damn,
right?
I'm guessing.
It's
that's
speculation.
Glenn Powell.
That makes sense.
Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell was in the running for Goose's son.
Oh wait, John Hamm's in it?
But yeah, he's in the trailer.
I thought that was him.
So Glenn Powell was in the running for Goose's son, but he was so good that they actually made a role for him.
Tom Cruise told him to put.
Yeah, which is really cool. So,
cool.
I think him and Miles Teller are going to be butting heads. I'm pretty sure those two are going to be butting heads.
Oh, they show people fighting.
Yeah, I think that's like the new rivalry. And then, of course,
it looks like Glenn Powell's like.
And then the best scene in the trailer. I mean, you had to bring it back. The shirtless sports scene. Had to bring it back. Not volleyball, but football. had to do it. Shirtless scene, right?
They're not singing in the bar.
They may not be in jean shorts, but you gotta have the pilots without the shirts on.
Am I mistaken, or was Miles Teller looking buff in that?
Dude, he looks ripped.
Yeah.
Well, remember,
That's
he was ripped
crazy.
in that boxing movie, Bleed for This.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Didn't he do this in the trailer too?
Yeah, but dude, that mustache looks so good. So good. Anyway.
I cannot wait. It's so funny because I was so... No, don't ruin Top Gun.
But the one thing that I'm asking for, better have Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone.
I'm sure they'll have it.
I will lose my mind if they don't have it.
Did they have hints of it in the score?
No, that's the actual like
the
theme of the
theme.
movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, but and Take My Breath Away, right?
They bet, dude, that better be in there. Like they better sing that at a bar. They better sing that at
They
a bar.
play those songs so many times in the original Top Gun. It's like a music video, but I love it.
I have a feeling, not Take My Breath Away. I'm all excited now. What was the other one you said?
Danger Zone?
Danger Zone. I have a feeling you'll catch Danger Zone without the like words. It'll just be like, like sometimes.
Well, that's what it was in the movie. In the original.
There's a part anywhere. Oh, that's the end credit. But yeah.
And then
They'll play both. They'll play both.
And then you get the final scene in the trailer, which is like the actual dogfighting with like real stuff going on. It's not just training, which I'm looking for. Because all the technology now.
Yeah.
Like it's not the
different,
80s anymore.
I'm saying it right now, and I know it's we're going to eventually do it.
Oh
yeah.
Why is that even a question?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anticipated?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is
Notice how Jay
hot
didn't
streak
answer?
right
Yeah.
now. He can't do
What?
anything.
I mean, I don't love Top Gun as much as you guys. Like, it's not. I don't love it like that, but I do.
You don't like shirtless volleyball scenes?
Of course I do.
I was inverted.
But I do appreciate Top Gun as a movie, and it's really awesome. So I'm looking forward to this for sure. Right, Gio?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, who thought we would all be this excited for Top
Dude.
Gun Maverick?
This was I've seen very few like old movies. This is always.
It
been
feels
one.
like a natural sequel. It doesn't feel like a forced sequel, like Independence Day Resurgence or something like that. It feels natural. Going on to a very different trailer, but also awesome. The trailer for Tenet, the Christopher Nolan film coming out next year, starring John David Washington and Robert Pattinson. Who else we got in there?
Elizabeth Debicki.
Yes, Elizabeth Debicki.
Love her.
And then there was someone else that got cast.
Yeah.
I'll look up the cast.
So this is basically like Christopher Nolan is very secretive about his films. We didn't know much about it. The first teaser was like nothing basically, and so this is the first full trailer. I guess this is kind of like a teaser trailer in a way.
Oh, it's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So we have Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, nice.
He's in it?
Himish Patel, who is, if you see his face, you'll recognize him. He was in the movie Yesterday.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Who's the lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clemence, she's a French woman. She's very. If you see her face again, you'll recognize her. Michael Caine, of course, and Kenneth Branagh.
Okay.
Kenneth Branagh was the other one that you saw in the trailer.
Nice. First of all, I buy this trailer, and the thing is, like,
100%.
I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. I love Christopher Nolan movies. Like, there's a few that have disappointed me, but I do like all of his films overall, the ones that I've seen. I wasn't, like, over the moon about this movie. Like, I was looking forward to it, for sure, especially because you got my boy Robert Pattinson in there. But
with some blonde highlights.
yeah, his hair's looking different.
Ever since Jacob's Hall Lighthouse.
So it's funny. No, I've liked him way before that, but
Since
I saw
Twilight.
I haven't watched it yet, but I saw the trailer for The King, and he's doing a French
haven't watched it
accent.
yet?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna watch it though.
He's ridiculous in that.
Yeah.
Have you?
So, but after this trailer, I am so excited for this movie. It looks awesome, and I love Christopher Nolan. A lot of his movies aren't direct, like, living in reality type movies. There's a concept to it that's like it's interesting, like a unique concept that science fiction-y, I guess. That
They're
kind of
mind
changed.
F movies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And-
science. It's definitely science fiction.
Yeah, and he did it with Interstellar. He did it with
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Yeah, he did it with Interstellar. He did it with
Inception.
Inception.
Oh, I thought you said Inception. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
I thought you
said
said
both.
Inception, so I said Interstellar.
But he kind of
Yeah,
did it.
sorry.
Inception, I guess, is kind of
I thought you
more
were
like
getting up
magic
fancy.
types. I'm not magic, but like it's not. Inception isn't science fiction, right? It's more fantasy.
I would say it's science
Science
fiction. It's
fiction.
science-based.
I would say it's science fiction fantasy, maybe.
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah, sci-fi
But there's
fantasy,
always
yeah.
this concept to
It's
it, right?
alternate
Like
reality type.
It's sci-fi fantasy.
like a fantastical element to his movies, and this is playing on time reversal.
Yep.
Not even time travel, like time.
So I don't know if you guys
Andy
know.
said
like
the
everything's
afterlife.
moving in backwards. And yeah, welcome to the afterlife.
So I don't know if
It looks-
because Gio and Brian just watched this.
I just watched it.
So I don't know if so we saw the end of this trailer where the car gets back up from crashing.
Yeah, that's literally when I went. What?
Nobody noticed, but the boat scene in the water, all the boats were going backwards. All the boats were going backwards.
So like everything's happening in reverse, but except them.
I don't know.
Yeah, I love.
And then the last scene of the trailer, I think, is when he says it hasn't happened yet.
And then
So like it's
the elevator doors open.
But
and-
like,
Like,
the
your
bullets
mind is
are
like-
there though. Like it hasn't happened yet.
I love a good.
it's like a
mind.
Dr. Manhattan stuff. It's literally like
Yeah,
Dr. Manhattan stuff.
I'm all in.
Dude, I love his movies because
I like how we the last two haven't had to say bye ourselves. We're just.
But yeah,
Bye.
it just his movies. It's we talked about it with Watchmen when we did our spoiler discussion. It's a critical thinker. They make you think and they make you pay attention to every aspect. That's why Inception is on the cusp of my top 10 movies of all time constantly. Like it sits on that
I love
edge.
that movie.
It sits there on the edge all the time about breaking that top 10. And every time I watch it, I love it to be more. But I love the aspect of Christopher Nolan sitting down and writing a movie that makes us question everything.
And Jonathan Nolan, right? Is it Jonathan?
Yeah,
Nolan?
yeah,
he writes every movie with him. Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm all in. The only thing that I have a problem with this movie is that Hans Zimmer's not. It's the only thing I have a problem with. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up right now.
not Han.
Thoughts, Gio?
John David Washington. I'm so happy.
What is he
getting another
from?
lead
Black
role.
Klansman?
Black Klansman.
Ballers.
That's what I
Ballers.
thought.
And
He's Black.
well, he's-
Klansman.
Yes.
That's what I
Denzel's son.
And him and Robert Pattinson together, they're gonna shine so much. We all know it's gonna have some insane action.
Whoa, what?
The-
Ludwig Göransson, who did Black Panther and The Mandalorian, doing Tenet.
Oh,
Are you
hell
serious?
yes.
Okay, there you go.
Damn,
They
dude,
said,
that's
"Oh, Hans
sick.
Zimmer's not available." Okay, we'll get.
Well,
this.
we'll back off a little bit because Hans Zimmer's doing Denis plays Dune. So
So
let's.
yeah. So
But
Yeah,
dude,
see it
Ludwig
next year.
Ludwig
Yes.
Göransson doing Tenet. That's legit. Wow. Okay, I'm pumped now. I'm
Yeah.
pumped.
That
I buy
actually
this movie
got me
even
more
more.
excited.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah, totally buy it.
All right, well, let's move on to our ranking of the Skywalker saga. This is going to be interesting. If you want to hear our full spoilers review, go watch that, because we're not really going to talk about the Rise of Skywalker in detail here. We're not spoiling it on this show. So go watch that if you want to watch after this video, of course. But we're going to rank our Skywalker saga films. So this is not including Rogue One or Solo or the Clone Wars animated film. It's going to include the 9 Skywalker films, episodes 1 through 9, and we're gonna kind of go roundtable style. But basically, like Gio's gonna say his 9 through 7, and then Brian's gonna say his 9 through 7. We'll go in that way, and we'll talk about each film. But if we already talked about one, we're not gonna go too much in depth on it. We might say a couple sentences as why it's in that spot. But so let's go ahead and start. Gio, what is your number 9 through 7?
I think everyone's number 9. Maybe I'm wrong. But mine's is Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 2. The love story. Hayden Christensen's cringy acting of a lot of times. Not even Obi-Wan could save that movie. But that's number 9. Number 8 is number 8 is The Last Jedi. Way off the rails from what was established in the movie beforehand. You have one whole giant chunk of the movie take place this planet with a casino, and I get distracted from everything else. You got the Rey and Kylo connection, but not enough for me. So that's number 8. Number 7.
Oh god. Here we go.
Oh god.
There we go.
The Phantom Menace. I put the Phantom Menace above The Last Jedi. Look, score, John Williams music, amazing. Darth Maul, amazing. Pod racing scene, amazing. Qui-Gon Jinn, awesome. The Jedi Council, all in full, awesome. Visual effects was groundbreaking for that time. And yeah, Jar Jar and little Anakin, midichlorians, but you can't not ignore the achievement this movie did. Wasn't perfect, nowhere near perfect, but Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, lightsaber fights, give me that all day. My number 7.
I rewatched The Phantom Menace. Well, I rewatched all of them because I did a rewatch with Gabby because she had never seen it. And we sat down and watched The Phantom Menace and kind of looked at it differently this time. Harloff, who watched a lot on X-Glider and now his own channel and stuff, he said recently that he watched it again with his daughter, but he looked at it as a Clone Wars episode or like part of the Clone Wars, and he viewed it differently. I try to do the same. It kind of gives you a different perspective because it came out around the same time, right? Clone Wars was like a couple years after From George Lucas, From George Lucas. You can tell that they were made for a certain age. And there's not really like a lot of bad things in the movie. It's just because it's so different that it gets so much flack. But it also creates so much good mythology. Like
yes,
Qui-Gon Jinn in its beginning of Obi-Wan, obviously. Get the Darth Maul stuff, which, yes, maybe he was cut too short. But for those of us who watched the other stuff, we got him later on. And I've always said this, and I will always say this, but pod racing, I want that to be a series. Like, I want to follow a pod racer.
That.
Yeah.
I want to follow a pod racer, and see like him going around different planets and doing pod racing, or like different seasons or whatever. Like that is some really cool stuff there because it doesn't just happen on Tatooine.
We've
Happens
never
everywhere.
seen pod racing in live action,
Exactly,
or
so
even in anime.
there's definitely like a lot. And the acting by Natalie Portman was like okay. Annie, of course, like we can argue, but again, made for kids. Kids liked him. The Jar Jar stuff, yes. But I looked at it differently this time I watched it, and I actually enjoyed watching myself. And as she was sitting there, kind of like into it herself, I was like, see why other people. I really do. I kind of sat back and like maybe I shouldn't have been bashing this.
I was 9 years old when I first saw this movie, so it always holds a special place in my heart. So.
Totally. And yeah, I mean, Attack of the Clones is the last spot. I mean, it makes sense in the Last Jedi. I can see why it's there. So Brian,
My turn? Alright, so for my number 9, I also have Attack of the Clones. The only good part about the movie is the last...
Gnosis battle.
Yeah. Second, the Jedi show.
Or Obi-Wan fighting Jango Fett.
Yeah.
That scene is
Yeah, that's
incredible.
yeah.
that one's not bad. And my numbers... I don't get people. My number 8, I've always not liked this movie. I don't really know why. You know what it is.
Wait,
What is it?
what?
I
think I know what it is.
Say
What is it?
Say it.
Return of the Jedi.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know
Oh,
why.
no, it's okay. It's your personal list.
I think, honestly...
You don't like the Yub Nubs?
Ewoks? No, I don't mind the Ewoks. I don't... It's funny because, I mean, I was probably around like 9, 8 when I first started watching these, and I remember distinctively not liking it then, and it's always kind of stuck with me. I've never outgrown it. So I don't know if that's just something...
I'm
impressionable
surprised
age.
it's that low, but I see where you're coming from.
I don't know. I've never had a fondness for it. And then my number 7 is The Last Jedi. It's not the worst. Best. It's kind of where I am with
It's
this.
there.
So
I mean, having it at number 7 is more than just it's there. Oh,
I mean, but it's not. Yeah, but it's not the bottom. I don't know.
What about it bugs you the most?
Last Jedi?
Yeah. What is one thing that you can't stand when
Canto Bight. I absolutely cannot.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I watch that movie, I skip all of Canto.
Yeah, that's actually what I did with Gabby. She fell asleep during halfway through it. I was like, fast forward to
Yeah.
Canto Bight.
It's almost useless.
Yeah.
It is.
It does no service to the story whatsoever.
It's absolutely pointless. I cannot stand. Yeah.
See,
His
and
character.
I agree with everyone who says that character should have been Lando in a different story. If that it would have made so much more sense if they were looking for Lando in some kind of different scenario than just being Benicio del Toro, who didn't really fit in.
There was no point into him. For that big of an actor to just do that.
Hey, don't even get the right guy. He's not even the
I-
color.
yeah,
He's
that's
supposed to get.
When I was watching it on Thursday, I was like, Justin Theroux is the guy who we were supposed to get. And he was in it for 5 seconds with the Red Palm movie.
And the pointlessness of his stutter, like, it's...
Phasma.
Again?
That disappoints me, probably.
They should have just let her be.
Yeah.
Killed her in the Star
Phasma got Phasma'd again.
No,
Twice.
I think that should have been Finn's final battle in this last movie.
Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, maybe just like him like knocking her off the
No, I wouldn't want her to see her in the Rise of Skywalker.
She's just there at the end, like they don't even explain it.
But no. I'm not saying her dying like in the second one. I think she should have lived to the third one, and then
I know what you mean.
I
figured that's what
like
you meant.
Kylo and Rey having their fight that have been Finn's, kind of.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy how they did Finn, so I kind of don't that. But those three, I've never. I don't know. If you ask me why I
throne scene, you don't like.
Oh, that's that scene. Luke loses his mind over that.
What?
Throne room
In
Return of the
Last
Jedi.
Jedi.
Oh, the Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have that movie so low. That scene might probably be in my top 5 favorite scenes.
We'll have to re-rank our favorite lightsaber battles. Because only Brian and I did it last time. I don't think you were involved in that one.
I don't think. Oh, it was on a Padawan episode. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And the saltiness I'll forever have in the taste in my mouth of the Praetorian Guards.
All right, so mine at number 9, I have episode 2. 3 for 3 so far. The movie's not diabolically terrible. It's just the love story.
You know what's so funny? It was on at the bar last night that I was at. Yeah.
Oh.
It was there. It was playing on mute, and I for some reason I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
If the
What
love story
bar downtown were you going to that they're showing Star Wars?
The one that has the mermaid swimming up. I forget the name of it.
Dive bar.
Yeah, Dive Bar. They were playing. They were playing Attack of the Clones on TV there. Yeah.
No, so look, this movie wouldn't be as bad as it is if this love stuff just didn't take central. It's central. It's the center story of everything.
They spent way too much time with them.
Yeah, and it's just, I get that they were trying to push the whole these are Luke and Leia's parents thing, but it became too much at times, and it took away from what could have been a really cool storyline with all of the Jedi and droids taking up on Geonosis and all that stuff. Instead, we were seeing these characters roll around in grass and laughing and stuff, and it's just like.
We should have seen more of the fighting.
When Anakin played dead, I was like, "Is he dead?"
Oh my god! I could not believe that he wasn't dead.
His dialogue about sand.
Yeah. And then number 8, I have episode 1. I know that I just said that I enjoyed it a little bit more the first time, but quite honestly, from 8 on, I thoroughly enjoy like a lot of these movies for what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said everything I said about episode 1, but there are still pieces of episode 1 I'm still like, it's not
from the guy that is called Qui-Gon Jake. I'm
well, Qui-Gon is he's the best part of the movie. But from 8 on, the one movie that I wouldn't put on to watch any given time is Rest On. I put below everything else. And number 7, I have The Last Jedi. I switched it right before we did this because on the rewatch with Gab, I thoroughly enjoyed what was my number 6, and I switched the 2 of them. Last Jedi was 6, I switched the 2 of them, which you'll hear in a little bit.
Yeah, I had a last minute change too. What I'll talk about in a second. My number 9 is Attack of the Clones. no anticipation there.
I knew it.
I like how you built it up and just goes Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, so I mean, here's the thing. Every Star Wars movie has things in it that I love and enjoy. Attack of the Clones, we talked about it. Obi-Wan fighting Jango Fett. And Obi-Wan is my favorite character, and I love his investigative, like Detective Obi-Wan. And he's just like, I love those scenes on Kamino. All of the whole Kamino scene, all of it, love it. I love the when all the Jedi show up in the arena, and we've never seen that many Jedi going into battle. Like, that was awesome.
I grew up literally just watching that.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I want to watch Star Wars.
We all
I'm
did.
just going to watch that 15 minutes.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah, and then I love when Anakin and Obi-Wan fight Dooku, and then Yoda fights Dooku.
I like that scene too.
I love that scene.
That's probably my favorite sequence of the whole movie.
Yeah.
He loses the arm.
I hate when he loses the arm because he kind of like gets pushed and then just stands there and waits to get his arm cut off.
honestly, other than those things, the rest of the movie.
The one thing that bugs me the most about Attack of the Clones is that the Master Sifo-Dyas thing never came back around.
Yeah, I asked you about that a few weeks ago.
Like I would have
did it in the Clone Wars.
Barely though. I would have loved to have seen that mythology because that's a huge freaking thing.
Well, we got it in book.
Oh yeah, which one was that? That was oh god, which one?
It wasn't Dark Disciples, was it?
No, it was a recent one.
Oh, it was the one with Count Dooku.
Jedi Lost.
Oh,
Play
Jedi
one.
Lost.
Yeah,
Jedi
yeah,
Lost.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Which
So
it actually was a pretty dope story too.
it was cool. Mine.
Did you even read that one?
No, I did. I listened to it. I did. All right, my number 8.
Uh-oh.
Don't look at my list, Gio.
Yeah.
My number 8 is The Last Jedi. Again, the throne room scene with Rey and Kylo fighting together. Love that
You
scene.
and I are in agreement why it makes it so low, though.
And I mean, I'm surprised you didn't mention it, but I still, even after seeing the Rise of
I left it
Skywalker
for you.
and everything, I do not agree with the way they handled the Luke character. Look, I like that he went into hiding, and I even like his attitude and his persona. I just wish he would have physically shown up.
Should
at
have
the
died
end.
in 9.
Physically shown up at the end, left with the Resistance,
You should have died.
and then died in 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
then you would have had Luke and Leia dying.
Well, thanks for spoiling the movie for everyone.
Oh, sorry.
We're not talking spoilers, Brian, about the Rise of
It's
Skywalker
okay.
in this.
By the time this
Hey,
comes out, it's what?
Good thing we're not live, right? Maybe Jake can edit that out. We'll see. Anyways, but yeah, the Last
Guys,
Jedi.
I hate to break it to you, but we are live.
Are we really?
Oh
No, I'm joking.
So they heard they're gulping in the beginning. We lost subscribers during that.
Brian, just don't talk about this.
Okay. I'll just hold my list up.
That would have been crazy if you didn't tell us we were live and just we were.
Gio did that a while ago to you and Keith on Comic Hero Talk.
What?
When you guys were talking about Batman v Superman, he baited you guys into something.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, but I just look. The Last Jedi is not a bad movie. That's my thing. It's not a bad
It's a
movie,
bad Star Wars movie.
but it's just it's my opinion. Like I just can't forgive that. You've had so many missed opportunities with what you could have done with the Luke character, and it was ruined.
Even Mark
So,
Hamill was off.
Yeah,
off
so
board.
All of them are. They all started coming out
I'll
and saying-
never stay silent about that. I do not agree. The thing is, like, Rian Johnson wrote that, but they approved it too, so it's not all on him. Lucasfilm approved that, so
It's not all on the
It's-
filmmaker.
it's whatever.
You had to, didn't you?
What?
You had to.
It's not all on the filmmaker. That's
All right, so
Nice.
as of right now, this may change.
Is this your number 7?
Yeah, as of right now, this may change.
Oh no.
My number 7 is The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Really?
and look, we did a spoiler review on the movie,
Oh
right?
man.
So you're saying the Phantom Menace is better than that?
No, he loves Phantom Menace.
We'll talk about
He
it.
loves Phantom Menace.
Hot
takes.
I'm very mixed on this movie. I really am. It
Just
does.
trying to get it out of.
It did some all-time great things in it that, like, just made my heart flutter. But like, it did some things that pissed me off.
What are those? Because we don't talk about those.
I will say.
No spoilers, I guess.
His reaction during the movie was not a lot of what I expected. He was very just kind of like,
That's how he is during all movies.
I don't know. Like
he's very subtle during
You
movies.
did not seem. The only part I can remember you like making even like words to was Chewbacca. Other than that, I don't think I ever saw. Really
I was overwhelmed, like, not in a bad way. There was so much, not just the movie, but there was so much going. I like had to rush there, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm watching this movie. And it just started, and I was like, oh my goodness, I was taking it all in. But I wanted to think about it more, and I still am processing it. Like, the thing is, I can, in 4 days, it can go to my number 3 spot.
I guarantee you're gonna watch it again.
Very possible. And
Guaranteed.
honestly, I think it will go up.
It will.
But the thing is, for me, like Gio was talking about Joker, I need time. This movie needs to stand the test of time. I know how I feel about The Force Awakens. It's settled in. I know how I feel about The Last Jedi. It's settled in, but it's too new, and I was very unhappy with several things. we can't really talk about it.
You didn't say one of those things during the spoiler discussion, dude.
All right, because we were going roundtable and picking individual topics.
Wait, we can't talk spoilers?
Not on this.
I mean, this comes out when? On Monday?
Yeah, but we're not talking spoilers.
Yeah,
it's not titled.
And you're so far into the video.
Can
Can we put up a spoiler?
for tickets for it, and it's still pretty sold out.
Can we put up a spoiler? Like, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
All right, how about this?
Save
Okay.
it for Padawan.
No,
I
we'll
want
do
to
this.
We're
Hey,
doing the part 2, though. So,
okay, Gio, we're gonna have to hold on.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right.
because the thing is, we're ranking these movies. We're not doing review.
Yeah.
The review on this.
Okay.
But anyways, but the thing is, like, it's gonna change. I already know it is. I just need time. I need a second viewing. I've only seen it once. So right now, because it's not just about do I think this movie's better than this movie. It's how much do I love this movie. That's where I'm going off of. So right now, it's in the number 7 spot.
First hot take of the ranking.
And I'm surprised
Return of the Jedi.
I have it higher than Gio does. Or lower than Gio does.
Oh, not by much.
You've told me that so many times.
Not by
all right, Gio. So 5
6 through 4.
6
through 4. Yeah.
6 through 4. Okay. Number 6. A New Hope.
What?
A New Hope.
A second hot take of the day.
That's more shocking than
Yeah.
All right,
We're gonna talk about
way more shocking.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna save A New Hope for when you guys talk about it. Okay.
I'm
Because
100% clipping this off for the Instagram.
Okay.
Like, I cannot believe
Okay.
this.
All right. And
I can't
Two-
take
hey,
my mouth though.
back-
Wait,
back.
whoa, hold on a second. I need to know why it's in number 6. I need to know why.
for me, I appreciate it's the first Star Wars
Or I should
movie,
do this because I need to look down at you.
and I know before that I had it higher, but
Man.
we watched it.
You guys thought me and Jill were going to debate about the comic movies earlier. We're going to debate about this.
Parts of it do not hold up. Okay,
You're
I promise you.
Look, I was going to use bad words.
It's your opinion.
It's
And
wrong.
wrong. Your opinion's wrong.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm sorry.
I just disagree.
It's
Oh,
just,
man.
all right. Okay, my
Say
number
goodbye, Gio.
my number 5.
Two OGs are gone.
Yeah.
My number
You guys
5
make it easy for me to take over.
is The Rise of Skywalker. Rise of Skywalker, number 5. And number 4 is Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi.
What about? So I want to know more about Return of the Jedi than Rise of Skywalker. Why is it number 4? What do you love about it?
For me, throne room. Luke confronting Palpatine and his struggle. I always think back to when he's fighting Vader one last time, and that music plays as they're going through the room, and then he just giving it to Vader and just out of hate, and then he just looks at his father and it's just realizes that's not my father. I love the celebration music, and I think going back to The Mandalorian, episode 4, and how seeing a village overcome the Empire, that brought me back. I had to think about it more. Like, why do I love this so much? And it's because in Return of the Jedi, as cheesy as the Ewoks are at times, their ability to overcome, come together and take on the Empire. I love that.
Oh yeah, I feel you, man. Like I said, I did a rewatch, and Ewoks. I get that they could have been handled better, but they're not as bad as everyone makes.
I never had a problem.
They're not as bad as everyone. Like, there's definitely the cheesy moments, like how they take down the AT-ST, or sometimes how they knock down the stormtroopers with rocks and stuff. Like, some of that stuff is cheesy. Yes,
that part's just funny. We just pick
But
up the rock. And
they're not
They're
not as bad as everyone makes them.
How else are they supposed to fight?
Exactly.
They're very
That's-
small creatures,
exactly.
so it makes sense for them.
Actually, they're very vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were literally gonna eat them.
Yeah.
Han and Luke.
Cook them.
They were gonna eat them.
And then the speeder through the
speeders are cool.
chase.
Oh,
yeah. I always think back to that. So yeah, that's mine.
Man, our lists are very different, which is cool.
Okay. Number 6. What? Number 6. I have The Phantom Menace. I have that one up so high because we always hear people say, like, the new 7 through 9 are the new trilogies for this generation. That was the beginning of mine.
Yeah.
And I was 10 when that movie came out, so I was at that impressionable age where these movies Like I could understand it, but still, it's like a little bit bigger than what I could. But like that one will always hold like kind of like a special place in my heart for the movie. I'll never forget when I was a kid freaking out over Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will never forget seeing that trailer and just freaking out.
I love the double-sided lightsaber, and
Yeah.
I just got mine in Jedi Fallen Order, which is awesome.
Spoiler.
Is that a spoiler? It's in the trailer.
Number
We're just spoiling the left and right.
I know, right?
1 through 5 is where I really start to like. It depends on my mood. Right now, my number 5 is The Force Awakens. I don't hate this movie at all. Like it's, I literally
That's a good
1 through 5. I honestly 1 through 5 I could honestly switch around. I could, but like if I'm thinking about stuff, I could have done a lot without the Fit. I find Finn very annoying. This movie, and just I don't know. I don't know. I honestly I don't know why. I just know that's where it fits in.
Yeah.
And my number 4 is Revenge of the Sith. I honestly went back and forth between Force Awakens and Revenge of the Sith, but just the amount of like just importance of things that come out of Revenge of the Sith, it's hard not to place it at where it is. I mean, the Obi-Wan and Anakin, the end of the movie, like nothing we've ever seen. Star Wars, it breaks your heart. Obi-Wan's yelling at him like, "You are the chosen one. You're my brother." Like that stuff breaks my heart every single time watching it. Epic lightsaber fight you've ever seen. It goes on forever. And I mean, killing young, everything about that movie is just. It's like no other Star Wars movie. It almost doesn't feel like it belongs in the first 3.
We'll talk about that.
So, yeah.
All right, so for me, number 6, I have Return of the Jedi. At number...
You have 6 at 6?
So 6 is 6.
I have 6. Cool. At number 5,
Episode 5.
for the longest time, was my number 1 Star Wars movie when I was a kid. But then I got older and I started appreciating some other movies. I have Revenge of the Sith in them. I adore this movie. It's by far my favorite of the prequels. Like I said, it was for the longest time when I was younger my favorite Star Wars movie. Some others took it over, but the Obi-Wan and Anakin stuff is incredible. I think I may, in our lightsaber rankings initially, I think I may have put it. It's one of my all-time favorite moments in Star Wars. I can quote the entire scene word for word. It's really, really good.
Choreography.
Yeah, it's incredible, and I do think that the turn of Anakin is a little cheesy at times because it happens so quickly. I think it could have been fleshed out a little bit more and a little longer, not so quick. Kind of just like, oh, it happened. But yeah, it's still a great movie. It's definitely George Lucas' best work. And then number 4, I have The Force Awakens. This movie is incredible. I love this movie. Brought back Star Wars. It's everything you want from a Star Wars movie. I bash on those people who call it a remake because I don't think it's a remake at all.
I 100% agree with you.
It's completely different in my opinion. Yes, there's similar beats, but every Star Wars movie has
Every movie has similar beats from other movies.
Exactly.
Like, it's just taking inspiration.
So yeah, I meeting Rey for the first time, meeting Kylo for the first time, bringing back Han and Chewie. That moment, Chewie, we're home. The snow fight scene where she grabs the saber is such an iconic moment. There's a lot to love about this movie. And rewatching it this week, first time in a while, just reaffirm that I love the movie. So I'm really surprised it's not higher. I really am. So.
Nice. Well, my number 6 is The Phantom Menace. We talked about it, but I just, like Brian said, we all relatively grew up on the prequels. Like, we're all one or 2 years apart. So we...
No, he's only in.
Except
for you.
I'm joking.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby, but the boss. The baby boss.
Boss baby.
So this movie has a special place in my heart. Like, I can just
Upstealing my words.
I can just like leave. You know, I guess you guys wouldn't know. Like sometimes when you like take a shot of alcohol, you just
Oh my god.
block it out of your block yourself from tasting it. I do that sometimes.
Is that why you get so hammered?
I guess. But
celebration.
so I do that with Jar Jar when I watch The Phantom Menace.
I just block.
This guy's
gonna be
No,
hammered.
I'm not.
He's
No,
gonna
I'm
be
not.
lit.
Roxy, watch out.
Hey, but I'm just gonna say hi. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah, I'm gonna watch you.
But anyways,
Get it
what
straight.
are we talking about again? The Phantom Menace. Darth Maul is one of my all-time favorite characters. I freaking love Darth Maul. Just the design of him and the way fights and the lightsaber duels. And I love the prequels so much because of the mythology and the lightsaber duels. I think people forget that a lot of the main mythology that we know of Star Wars comes from the prequels. They never used the word Sith once in the original trilogy. The Sith and the whole idea of the Sith was introduced in the prequels. When we knew Vader was Emperor's apprentice and there was only two of them, but we didn't know what they were, what rules they followed, anything like that. So all this stuff, like the Jedi Council, the mythology of the Jedi, a lot of it came from the prequels, and I don't think people realize that. So, and it started with the Phantom Menace. So, and just Qui-Gon Jinn, pod racing, go on all day. I really love that movie. My number 5 is Return of the Jedi. It's definitely my least favorite of the original trilogy. I do think it has some amazing things in it. Honestly, the throne room scene in Return of the Jedi is probably the most important scene, the most important sequence in Star Wars history. Like in the Star Wars movies, it is the most important thing. The most it determined the outcome of that trilogy. It defined the Vader character. It defined the Luke character. It was the most of Emperor Palpatine we had at that point. So I think that will never be taken away from it. But the movie is just like it doesn't feel as special as the first two to me. For some other than that, so I kind of have it lower. But yeah, so my number 4 is Revenge of the Sith. I love Revenge of the Sith. I always liked it, but I've started to grow an appreciation for it more recently, because I think because it's so much better than the other prequel films, it just makes me like it more. But I love the opening of the movie.
The opening is incredible. The Coruscant fight scene
of the movie is
so good,
so awesome. And I do hate that in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith they split up Obi-Wan and Anakin. Like, we want to see them together, and you split them up in both movies. But I actually thought they handled the Return to the Dark Side well, because they set it up in Attack of the Clones when they show these things, which is kind of stupid. I always laugh at this when he goes and slaughters all the what are they called? In Attack of the Clones he slaughters what is their actual
Tusken Raiders.
Yeah,
Tusken
he
Raiders.
slaughters all of them, and he's like, I killed them all, the women, the children, and Padme says, I love you. Like, what? Why is that dialogue together? Anyways, but they set those type of things up in that he's prone to turn to the dark side. And then I love the dialogue between Emperor Palpatine and Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. All the scenes when he
came back in the Rise of Skywalker.
Anakin?
When Palpatine's talking.
Oh yeah. That he's alive still. Yeah. So that opera house scene, and then when he confronts Emperor Palpatine, he's like, "You're the Sith Lord." Mm-hmm. I love that scene, and he's like, he wants to kill him right there, and I think Emperor's like telling him to do it, like, because he always tells people to kill him.
Well, because
it's the Sith. Yeah. I mean, he did it in the Return of the Jedi also. Yes. So so yes, Revenge of the Sith is the best prequel film in roll. All right.
Controversy continues with Mr. Geo.
All right, number 3, I have The Force Awakens.
Hey,
there you go. Yep. God, this movie is just so much fun, and honestly, it brought back that feeling of excitement for Star Wars. Just Rey, Poe, Finn, their introductions, incredible. thought more was gonna happen with Phasma and Hux and yes. But just Kylo Ren. Who would have thought? Such a new character would, such a fan favorite and one of the more interesting, compelling characters in Star Wars. Um, Even though the Han Solo death was kind of saw it coming, it was still like emotional.
Still hit you in the gut.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna die whenever there's stairs or something with no rail.
Yeah.
Or there is a railing and you're just out in the middle of the ether.
Yeah.
And what if you're a worker there and you're just carrying boxes and you
Oh,
fall?
shoot, right.
You just
Yeah,
die.
it's crazy. Yeah, I was thinking,
Why is that there? Like, why is that
George
there?
Lucas has come out and talked about that.
Has he really?
Yeah, he has said the reasons for there's a reason because it's always like never be like safe. There's something weird among those.
So number 2 is Revenge of the Sith for me. I love this
Woo!
movie. I
Hot
love
take.
Revenge of the Sith. This movie is
Love
a
your
movie
list,
that George Lucas has wanted to make.
The Last Jedi or
A New Hope.
New Hope being that far.
Anyways, yeah, this one goes all out. The pacing, I mean, it's not as fast as Rise of Skywalker, but it's just it goes and it doesn't stop. I always think back to 2 moments. The first is when Anakin is marching into the Jedi Temple with the clones behind him. He's just ready to like take it all down. Love, I guess, or at least so he thought, And the second one is, of course, Obi-Wan. Who Ewan McGregor gives his best performance, but he's just, so disappointed in Anakin when goes into hiding, exile, because just he's looking after Luke Skywalker, but he's just feels failed as a master, as a friend, and it's just amazing how the 2 endings. This is how an ending should be done. How Padme is losing her life, giving birth to the twins. How Anakin at the same time is becoming Darth Vader, and then as she falls, he rises, and it's just beautifully done. Didn't think George Lucas had it in him, but he did. The only prequel that's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, in case Rotten Tomatoes matters.
Certified fresh with over
Probably
80.
doesn't. Yeah. And number 1 is Empire. Empire Strikes Back. We'll talk about it later on, I'm sure, but that's my number 1.
Nice.
All right, my 3 through 1. My number 3 is The Rise of Skywalker. Honestly, I feel like it could change. It's still fresh in my mind. We've seen it 48 hours ago when this is filmed. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It will probably fall, but where it's at right now, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The last couple, I find myself the last couple of years switching my 1 and 2. I don't know. I feel like almost when I get older, I appreciate my number 1 more, but my number 2 is Empire Strikes Back. I love that movie more than anything, but over the last year, I've found. I mean, if you can't figure out what my number 1 is, my number 1's A New Hope. I've found myself loving A New Hope a lot more. Watching it, seeing how young they were, how ridiculous this concept must have been for these people to do this film at this time, and just I don't know. I've really, really, really started to love A New Hope way more than I ever have before. I don't know. I just think it's just so. It just covers kind of everything. I don't know. I just really, really, really enjoy Hope a lot. And that's only probably within the last year has that. I don't know. A New Hope's, I think, because it's just this is the beginning. Our 3, or 4, count Chewbacca. Chewbacca Luke, Leia, and Han. I love Han so much in this movie. Like, whenever he's yelling, running around, shooting people around the Death Star, like, I don't know. This one has only probably within the last my number one. Always seeing it on TV, kind of watching it over and over again, and I'm starting to appreciate it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah. I also have the Rise of Skywalker number. Like you said, it's early, fresh. I have seen it twice though, so it's a little bit more solidified than you probably. I've said this since I walked out of the theater the first time, but it's the most Star Wars movie we've ever gotten, which is why I love it so much. And we'll see if that changes. It'll change next year for sure. I'm sure, but we're gonna be doing our official rankings and solidified as that spot. But it is a number 3 for me. Number 2, I have A New Hope. I love it's really a toss up. It is, but Empire Strikes Back to me. It sits at my number 1 all-time movie list for a reason. Everything that movie does, it takes what the previous movie previously did and builds on it, but also expands it in much more of a, I guess, darker way. I guess I can explain it as. It's a very dark movie. It's a very dark movie. We learn obviously the most iconic moment in like movie history. No, I Am Your Father. Spoiler if you've never seen it before. But, you know, Luke finding out that his father is the Dark Lord of the Sith, and Han being put in carbonite, and you rarely see movies that end off on a sour note for the good guys, and this is one of the few that did it successfully, and did it to where you're like, okay, what the hell is going to happen next? What is going to happen?
Fire and Infinity War.
Exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a brilliant movie, but again, A New Hope you can never go wrong with because it's the thing that started it all. It's the one that was deemed to be an absolute failure by everyone, and everyone out of the water. It's where we got our first pew-pews. It's where the Millennium Falcon was born, and you know Luke picked up the saber for the first time, and you know Leia's iconic hologram message from R2. I mean, there's so much to love about it. But yeah, so I have Rise of Skywalker 3, A New Hope 2, Empire Strikes Back.
Crazy Pants, time for your list.
I think I have this the highest. My number 3 is The Force Awakens.
It was my number 3 until The Rise of Skywalker.
That's my number 3 as well.
Freaking love The Force Awakens so much. I have never had that feeling than when The Force Awakens came out. And just for like the next 2 months, I was just on a high, Star Wars high. Like I don't think I'll ever feel that again. It's crazy. And like it makes me like want to put it number 1, but it probably never will be. But it sits comfortably in this number 3 spot for me. It introduced me to characters. No matter how I feel about the whole trilogy overall, I think Rey and Kylo are some of the greatest characters ever be in Star Wars. So we got that. We got a lot of other good things from them, or from this movie. But yeah, it's super special, and I love Han. Like Han is awesome in this movie, and he has such a big role. And looking at it from like comparing it to the other 2 movies in the trilogy, like it makes me appreciate it even more. So that's why I have Force Awakens so high. Number 2 is Empire Strikes Back. There's no doubt that this movie is one of the greatest movies ever made. And it's like if everyone in the world voted on their rankings for the Star Wars films, it would be number 1. Almost every Star Wars fan has it at number 1. I don't blame them at all. To be honest, it's probably a better movie than A New Hope. But
your number 1?
I'll explain why.
There's a difference between your favorite and
exactly. Empire is the best Star Wars movie, but my favorite is A New Hope.
Ooh, we're split.
Brian, I was gonna say something.
He's the deciding factor.
I was gonna say something, but I wanted to save it. I mean, I've said this before plenty of times. A New Hope is my favorite Star Wars film. I do not think it's outdated or doesn't. It holds up completely. You watch any movie, you watch in the context of the time that it came out.
That's
so
a dong take
when you watch a movie from 1951, you're not like, oh, this doesn't really like the special effects don't work for me. That's why I don't like it. No,
I grew up on the prequel.
It's because you're watching it understanding it came out in 1977. So,
and that's fine. I appreciate it. It's not the number 9 on my list. I guarantee you,
Number 8.
This ranking wouldn't be as bad if we included Solo, Rogue One, and there was another Star Wars.
No.
Yeah, the Clone Wars. Yeah,
That doesn't
yeah,
count.
that's a movie too.
Yeah, it is,
that's a movie.
theatrical release.
Thank you.
For me, it's if you're, I don't think you can compare the special effects from the original trilogy to the prequels to now. Like, obviously, they're gonna get better. Like, the thing is, the special effects in the sequel trilogy are way better than the prequel special effects because of the time era they came out. But the prequel effects were the best special effects we'd ever seen at that time. That and the Matrix in the same year.
Yep.
So, you can't really compare. So then, what are we comparing? We're comparing the story, the characters, all these things. And for me, A New Hope, it's just like, it's so, the beginning of it is, the very first scene is amazing. But then, just like, you meet Luke, you get to know him. You spend a lot of time with Luke.
It's very pure
before he goes off on his journey. And then Obi-Wan is my favorite character, so you get to see him. Probably the most important Star Wars scene ever is when one of the most important Star Wars scenes ever is when he explains the Force. It binds us, it keeps us, or it lives through all of us, whatever he says. And then it's the first time we see a lightsaber ignite. He hands it to Luke. It's Anakin's lightsaber, the one that is in the sequel trilogy. And then I love the trench run on the Death Star. It's so incredible.
So
we've
good.
never, we've seen stuff like that in Star Wars since then, but it's never, the first time. It's so incredible. And I love when Han shows up. And now it seems like, well, of course Han showed up, but probably back then people weren't expecting it, And then, it's a small moment, but the thing is, so we talk about the droids, right? And the droids are kind of like afterthoughts a lot of times, but people still love R2 and C-3PO and BB-8. But for me, it's like the whole time since the beginning of the movie, C-3PO is and R2 have this bickering relationship. They don't like each, or C-3PO is annoyed by R2 the whole time. But then when Luke gets back from the trench run and R2's busted up, he's like, you can take any of my parts you need to fix it. And that moment gets me emotional. I don't know why. It's super weird. And then when Han comes back and Luke hugs him, it's a special movie. And Leia is killer in this movie. Her swagger is on fire.
Well, she changed the idea of a woman in distress.
Yeah,
she wasn't a woman in distress. She was a
helpless princess.
She was a woman in distress who could kick as much butt as the guy.
Yeah, very, very much a fighter.
Yeah. You're a little short for a stormtrooper.
Her, Ripley from Alien, Sarah Connor.
And as soon as they walk out of that door, she takes the lead, and she's like, "Follow me." And she takes the lead. She grabs the gun from Luke and starts shooting stormtroopers. So another reason,
when she quips right back at Tarkin.
Yeah,
I could smell your house.
Exactly. So think about that. If she's the beginning of iconic female characters, that's very important in Hollywood history. So yeah, A New Hope is my number 1 for sure, and I think it always will be.
Oh, so good ranking.
Yeah, I like how different our lists are.
Do we want to run through them quickly? Just 9 through 1?
Sure. Yeah, I'll just go real quick. So I have my number 9, Attack of the Clones, Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, which I'm assuming will go up. The Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Force Awakens, Empire Strikes Back, and A New Hope.
Gio?
All right, starting from number 9, Attack of the Clones, The Last Jedi, Phantom Menace, A New Hope, Rise of Skywalker, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Empire Strikes Back.
I love that Revenge of the Sith is so hot.
I
really love it.
I'm not gonna. It might be a prequel, but again, I grew up on.
I have it as 4,
and I still have.
Mine's a 5.
A love for.
Mine's at 4.
Nice.
For me, my 9, Attack of the Clones. 8, Return of the Jedi. 7, The Last Jedi. 6, The Phantom Menace. 5, The Force Awakens. 4, Revenge of the Sith. 3, The Rise of Skywalker. 2, The Empire Strikes Back. And number 1.
Keith's list is going to be so different, too.
Well, so he's the deciding factor between which one's number 1.
Which is going to be.
What if it's not even either of those?
It's not going to be either, yeah. Okay, so
I have a feeling he'll pick Empire.
9 to
It
1.
might be Return.
Attack of the Clones, The Phantom Menace, The Last Jedi, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith, Force Awakens, The Rise of Skywalker, Star Wars, and The Empire Strikes.
Nice.
I'd be curious where they change Rogue One.
Well, we'll rank those all together. All right, well, that was super fun. Yeah. So to wrap up the show, we're going to talk about what we're looking forward to for next week. This is just going to take a couple minutes. New releases are 1917, Little Women, Spies in Disguise, Just Mercy, and if you want to go watch Star Wars again. So really quick, you guys,
that was on the actual notes.
Maybe any shows you're watching. What's your most anticipated thing for next week?
1917 looks really good.
Really good.
Really, really good. I'm definitely gonna check that one out and obviously watch that. I got some shows on Netflix or movies I need to watch. Six Underground and Marriage Story, obviously.
Oh, Marriage Story, man.
I'm gonna watch both. Yeah.
For me, I watch anything Greta Gerwig and Martin, so Little Women's up there.
So apparently there's been like 3 movies called Little Women. Yeah, I think it's like a remake.
It's a Jane Austen book.
Yeah,
it's the 3rd time they made it. But this one, from what the reviews are saying, is this one is crafted different.
Oh, okay, cool.
So for me, that just because so that, and I am starting The Witcher.
Yes, I need to watch Witcher.
Did that come out?
Yeah.
Came out yesterday. I'm watching that.
I started the
that looks awesome.
I started like the first 25.
And you didn't say anything. Rude.
I fell asleep.
Rude.
Well, we kind of didn't do what we've been watching lately segment.
Rude.
Today.
So, I'm still like waiting for Watchmen tomorrow, and I'm like,
it's not happening.
I know. Sorry. So Witcher and Little Women, if I had to pick 2, those 1917 is right up there though.
Yeah.
On IMAX.
1917, 100% Sam Mendes, and then Roger Deakins directing or cinematographing, and the film is cinematography is as one shot.
Yes.
It is not. There are no cutaways. It is like Birdman. That stuff just gets me. Mm-hmm. That's my type of filmmaking. I'm a sucker for war movies. Oh, Keith said Empire.
Keith said
Empire.
Empire.
And then the second one that I would be highly looking forward to is Just Mercy. Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson.
Yes.
The film at, I want to say, either the Venice Film Festival or the Toronto Film Festival are like incredible reactions.
Nice.
And it's a true story. And so that, again, that type of stuff just gets to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I mean, maybe not Spies in Disguise.
Honestly, if Just Mercy, 1917, Little Women all come into Sacramento, there's a chance I spend one day seeing all 3 of them.
I might go with you, man, if I'm free that day. I'm looking forward to all these movies. I wouldn't mind watching Spies in Disguise. It looks funny. But mine is kind of TV related. It's going to be next week when the 49ers play the Seahawks, and they whoop their butt.
Week 17.
I'm done.
NFC, to take the NFC West title. But anyways,
wait, hold on a second. Let me just cut your camera off real quick. You're literally a black screen.
Both
right
of them.
Oh man,
George Kittle. Man.
No, but seriously, it's to watch. It's to watch Star Wars.
Seahawks gonna lose. Or
yeah,
Seahawks.
Yeah,
you're
right.
You're right.
Yes.
Seahawks are gonna win.
But who knows?
I screwed the pooch on that.
That could be determined this week. If the Niners lose and the Seahawks win this week, it's irrelevant.
Niners are losing.
It's irrelevant. The Rams, I don't know. I'm about to watch that in a few hours here.
Yep.
But no,
and get
if I could only watch one thing next week, it's watching Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see how many times I'm willing to go see this in theaters. Because I saw The Force Awakens 10 times in theaters.
Damn. Yeah, I'm gonna at least see it like 5 or 6 times for sure.
I got 2. Got 8 to go.
All right, well that's gonna wrap up this episode of Apocaflix. Now that was fun ranking the Star Wars films. Some heated discussions there, guys. That was awesome. But hey, it's all our opinion.
No, he's right here.
It's all our opinion, so it's all good. Again, I'm Jacob Bartley. This is Gio. That's Brian. That's Jake for Apocaflix Movies. Yeah, check us out. Watch our Rise of Skywalker spoiler discussion. We're doing a second part later on as well, and watch everything. We're doing a Fandalorian next week.
The finale.
The finale of the Fandalorian next week, which can't freaking wait. That would be.
I can't wait to see the title episode name.
Oh, true. All right, well, thank you all again for watching. We will see you next time. Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocaflix Movies, click this video up here. If you want something a little bit different, check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocaflix Movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.